if you could take one of your favorite 9 meals, and then if you could take one of your favorite 9 meals and make it 9 different ways, then wouldn't you have 9 new favorite meals? I'll explain more about that. I'm going to show you how you can take a common dish that everybody loves and turn it into 9 meals, immediately expanding the variety of your cooking so that you can get variety into your cooking. I didn't start that right, but we'll explain today on the Carefree Cooks Code. I'm Chef Todd Moore, and this is the Carefree Cooks Code, every Tuesday live at noon Eastern. Here's our challenge. How can home cooks cook freely, with creativity, confidence, and pride, while ignoring recipes and still impressing themselves and others with what they cook? Well, the answer is found in becoming empowered with how cooking works, using dependable and repeatable methods of cooking that work for any ingredient, for any diet, and any desire, just like chefs do. And we'll know we've cracked it when everyone sees cooking as an exciting and rewarding way to improve their relationships, their lifestyles, and their health through better food and cooking. This is the Carefree Cooks Code. Boom! Hey, welcome back, everyone. Welcome to the Carefree Cooks Code. This is the weekly show for the methods, techniques, and insights into better food. Every Tuesday at noon Eastern. You can find all the past videos in my archive on Facebook. You just go to facebook.com/chef.todd.more/videos. And if you want to see what I'm cooking and how I did it, then you should follow Chef Todd Moore on Instagram as well. How does he do it? Well, you could do it also. All you got to do is say, I'm a carefree cook. I create my own recipes. I bring friends and family together. I learn every time I cook. I create my own cooking style because I practice pro methods and I love my cooking. Hi, welcome everyone. It's Chef Todd Moore again, and I'm always glad when Tuesdays roll around because we get another shot at it. You know, we get just another chance to crack just a little bit more of that code, just to discover more of the methods and the philosophies that you need to become truly free in the kitchen and become a carefree cook. And we're going to talk about a great way to do that today. But first, I've got a What Am I for you today. Check out all that stuff there. Look carefully. What am I? Tell me in the comments section below. What am I? Those 3 things. I'll give you another minute. All right, it's kind of weird, but I think you can figure it out. Hey, look, we all know the benefits of being a carefree cook, right? I mean, I just read them in the Carefree Cook's Creed, but one of the greatest things about true freedom in the kitchen is that you're not bound by somebody else's wants, desires, ingredients, or written instructions. You don't let somebody else tell you what you might like in your kitchen. Not them, you, because cooking isn't about following directions. Carefree cooking is about commanding the methods in cooking so you can use the ingredients you want for your diet or your desires. Recipes don't do that for you. They make you search and search and search. So when you command the methods, then you have the freedom to change anything and everything about a recipe. Or forget it, just make up one on your own, right? I mean, a musician doesn't have to have sheet music to play their instrument. And you don't need a recipe book to cook. Because if you just change the method of one of your favorite dishes, then you can create a brand new dish. I'm going to explain this to you. Would you like to know how I do this? It's really, really simple. You just change the method. All right, good night, everybody. Thank you. No, there's another 25 minutes left. It's a really simple concept, but it might not be so simple to do. Just cook the same thing, but change how you cook it, and it becomes a brand new dish. No? I mean, it's a simple concept, but it does take a few higher level foundational skills, and that's what I'm here for, the higher level foundational skills. In other words, you have to be up on your cooking methods. You got to know what they are. And normally, I recommend being comfortable with just one basic cooking method and then changing the ingredients for each meal. This is the way you cook for special diets also. You have one method and you change the ingredients. So becoming proficient, say at the 9 steps in the basic saute method, you can make sauteed chicken, sauteed beef, sauteed tofu, right? You get the idea. You repeat the method, but you change the ingredients for a new dish every time. Well, today we're gonna flip that all around. We're gonna keep the ingredients, but change the method for a brand new dish. And if you're on your own personal path to becoming a carefree cook, then you already know this. You already know that focusing on the reliable and repeatable methods of cooking empowers you over written recipes. It gives you confidence and it has you creating instead of just cooking. But you got to know what these methods are. And you have to know that they will produce different results. We're not guessing. We're not just blindly following directions. We are commanding and controlling the heat. So let's have a quick refresher before we get into this of the methods that we focus on in web cooking classes. And by that I mean today, there's not going to be any deep frying. There's not going to be any pan frying. We're not going to be filling up any pans with fat. We're not going to be using any gadgets. There's no crock potting today. There's no sous vide stick in it today because gadgets ultimately take all the joy out of cooking for me. But look, I'm not going to go into that. So let's start with some of the methods. Let's start with something like roasting. This is an indirect, convective cooking method. The oven heats the air and the hot air cooks your food. It's indirect. Method's pretty easy, right? You can marinate items to be roasted. You can dry rub items to be roasted. You can stuff or compose items to be roasted. I mean, either way, you basically put it in the oven and you wait for the finished results that you're looking for. Notice the difference. I said the results you are looking for. You're cooking with the end results in mind. That's because carefree cooks are not cooking by time and temperature, right? Yeah, nod. Everybody nod. Yes, Chef Todd, I don't cook by time and temperature. Good. It's an important step in becoming a carefree cook. Carefree cooks cook by quantifying and observing the results of the methods that they apply. We look for the effects of heat on food that we want. But again, that's a whole nother class. I don't want to go down another tangent. So next is the Saute method. The Saute method is a direct heat conductive cooking method where things happen very quickly. It's like driving the car of cooking. That's what I always say. And you need items that are already thin and tender because of the really intense heat. And the basic saute method has 9 repeatable steps. It's lesson 2 in web cooking classes. It is so important that I put it lesson 2 because if you can repeat the 9 steps in the basic saute method, then you can cook anything. Grilling is also a direct heat conductive cooking method where the heat source is directly below the item being cooked. We could throw broiling in here as well. It's just kind of grilling upside down. But this also calls for something that is thin and tender because a thicker item on the grill will burn on the outside before it's ever cooked into the middle. And again, nothing is ever going to tenderize on a barbecue grill. Thin and tender is the rule on the grill. And along with the 8 steps in a good grilling method, you could add things like brushing the item with fat to promote browning, turning the item 90 degrees halfway through to get those pretty cross-hatched grill marks, and cooking to a precise internal temperature and resting the item to allow the juices to distribute. 8 steps in a grilling method. And then we've also got moist methods like steaming and poaching and simmering as well. These are all indirect, convective cooking methods where the liquid is heated and it passes the heat onto the food through the liquid. Nothing is ever going to get brown in a moist cooking method. Remember that. Remember, you can't toast a wet piece of bread. Moisture never gets above 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius, and caramelization of sugars one of the four effects of heat on food, takes place at 320 or 160. So if you want something brown, don't steam it, don't poach it, don't simmer it. Steaming is an indirect contact with the moisture, while poaching and simmering are direct contact with the cooking liquid. And remember, boiling is not a cooking method. Web cooking classes students in lesson 5, I think it is, they already know why boiling is not a cooking method, and I'm not going down that tangent today either. Then there are combination cooking methods like braising and stewing as well. And this is where you might brown something first in direct heat and oil, and then finish it in the oven, or add a bunch of moisture to the pan and stew it. So there you go. Those are your basic cooking methods. This is what I teach in web cooking classes. This is really the foundation of web cooking classes. It's the how to cook that you need when recipes are only telling you what to cook. Recipes are miserable at how to cook. Great at what to cook, miserable at how to cook. That's why how to cook always transcends recipes. So now, let's do it. Let's do what I promised today. I'm going to make 9 meals out of just one using the methods that I just mentioned. Okay, so here they are again. Here are the methods: roasting in the oven, saute on the top of the stove in a pan, grilling using direct heat from below, steaming using indirect moist heat, poaching using soft, direct moist heat, simmering using mild, direct moist heat, braising, which is a combination method, and stewing, which is another combination method with more liquid. All right, that's the idea. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to throw smoking in there as well. I love it. Smoking is incredible. Smoking is an indirect, dry, convective cooking method where burning wood gives the flavor to the food. Opening a bottle of disgusting liquid smoke derivative, it's so terrible. That's not smoking. It's a cooking method. It's not a condiment, okay? Another tangent I won't be going down today. So there you go. There are your 9 basic cooking methods, right? And if you know them, then you can repeat them reflexively. And then you can turn one dish into 9 different dishes. This is how it works. So let me give you a real world example of this. Let's take a dish that everybody knows, something simple, a popular dish that could be on the table in just about any household. What could it be? What could we use? What do you think we should use? Okay, how about chicken Parmesan? All right, easy. You know chicken Parmesan. It's a chicken breast covered in tomato sauce and cheese. Easy. And it's a really good example because this could also be eggplant Parmesan for our vegetarian friends. All right, so it doesn't have to be chicken. It's a Parmesan. So let's just call it a Parmesan. Whatever. It really doesn't matter what is under your tomato sauce and melty cheese, because no matter what it is, we're about to turn it into 9 meals really quickly. So here we go. Are you ready? You ready to see this? This is like a David Copperfield kind of thing. Here we go. You want to see how I do this? Thumbs up, hearts. Tell me you're alive out there. Are you out there? Yeah. All right, good. Okay, I like it. You want to see it. Yes, you do want to see this. Good. All right. So now, you might be ahead of me already since I've kind of spoiled the punchline, but let me get through it here. Is your carefree cook's mind already whipping up different versions of chicken Parmesan? If you're a carefree cook, I think you know where I'm going. If you've been in web cooking classes, I think you know where I'm going. But if you haven't, if you're not a web cooking classes student, listen carefully, because this is the whole way that we do it. And if you are, don't get ahead of me. Don't ruin it for anybody else. Chicken or eggplant Parmesan is our example dish today. So here we go, rapid fire. Dish number 1, roasted. You put your chicken in a pan. You put the pan in the oven to the finished internal temperature of the chicken. Take it out, put tomato sauce on it, put your favorite cheese on it, put it back in the oven, let it melt. Chicken or eggplant, whichever you wish. It's our first parm. Parm 1, we'll call it. Oh, wait a minute. Now that I think about it, that chicken's naked. And if you want a crispy, crunchy crust on your chicken or eggplant, then you need the 3-part breading procedure as well. That's another skill that you're going to need for sure. Because when you know that the flour sticks to the food item, the egg sticks to the flour, and the crumb sticks to the egg, then the egg coagulates and creates the crust. Well, that's what it is. So if you're breading the chicken or the eggplant before you roast it, let's call that Parm 2. Okay, there's number 2, 2 out of 9. All right, so what if you did a chicken or an eggplant Parmesan saute? Saute the chicken breast in a pan, remove it from the heat, saute, onions and garlic in the fond, deglaze with red wine, reduce it au sec or until it's almost dry, add your tomato sauce to the pan, let it get hot and bubbly, put the chicken back in, put the cheese on the chicken, put the lid on the pan, there you go. You've got sauteed parm that will have different flavors and different characteristics than the roasted one. That's Parm 3. Okay. Oh, that one's naked too. A lot of people don't like their naked parm. A lot of people like to dress it up. So what if you wanted to coat this chicken or eggplant in crumbs too? Well, then you'd have a combination cooking method. You would use the 3-part breading procedure. Basically, you'd be toasting the crumbs on the saute pan. Don't burn them. But then you take it out and finish the chicken in the oven to a final temperature. We'll call that Parm 3A, maybe. We're not even going to count that one. And since we're talking about combination cooking methods, well, let's get away from that chicken breast or breaded eggplant. Let's make this even more exciting. How about using the braising method with chicken legs or thighs? Think about this. So how would I do that? I would brown the chicken parts in oil or my portobello mushroom or my tofu. I would deglaze the pan with some kind of wine or vegetable broth. I'd let it reduce until it was almost dry. I would add some aromatics like onion and garlic, then add my tomato sauce and just let the whole thing cook at a low temperature and then melt some cheese on at the end. It's braised chicken parm. So that's Parm number 4. 4 parms we're up to. Grilled chicken Parmesan or eggplant or tofu or anything is really easy. Grill your item, take it off when it's done grilled, put hot tomato sauce on top, add some grated cheese to it, and the grated cheese will melt faster. And keep in mind, again, with the results, a grilled chicken is going to taste, going to look much different than a breaded one or a sauteed one or a roasted one. For sure, it has to do with your desires and your ability to make more variety out of one dish. Parm 5, that's Parm 5. Do you think I can make it to 9? Let's go. Let's see if I can do it. If you wanted to remove all excess fat from your cooking, maybe you're on a very low fat diet. You don't want to add fat to a saute pan. You don't want to do that. Your chicken or your eggplant could be steamed, right? What if you steamed chicken in chicken broth? What if you had a nice vegetable broth to steam your eggplant in? And like I said before, it's not going to be brown. You're giving that up in a moist cooking method, but it's going to be moist and flavorful from the liquid that you cook it in. That's the benefit. So you could even poach chicken or eggplant or tofu in the tomato sauce itself. Imagine that. Cook it in the sauce in a moist, convective fashion. That's number 6. Parm 6. We're headed toward 9. I hope I don't crap out at 8. I hope I make it. Look, and again, we don't have to have a chicken breast. We don't have to have slices of eggplant. What if we used our knife skills and cubed them? What if we had chicken breast or chicken thigh cubes and then poached them in a flavorful liquid? So after diced tomatoes, some onion and garlic, then you would have a Parmesan ratatouille type dish, So that's totally different from the rest. And that's Parm number 7. I'm almost there. Similarly, your new Parmesan creation could be stewed. Let's get really crazy with this, okay? Let's get totally nuts and invent something new. The diced or julienne chicken or eggplant could be browned in oil in a pan or any kind of fat you want, and then stewed with diced tomatoes and big pieces of vegetables that you want. Put it in your bowl, put a piece of cheese on top, broil the cheese to melt it, and you have a Parmesan chili Isn't that cool? That's not only cool, but it's Parm number 8. Look out. We are almost there. If you really wanted to get over the top flavor, get out your smoker. And I even show you, if you don't have a smoker, I even show you how to smoke items on your stovetop in web cooking classes, as long as you got a good hood, as long as you have a good exhaust hood. But smoking that flavor, oh my goodness, it is one of my favorites. So how about smoked chicken or eggplant Parmesan with a smoked tomato sauce? Oh my goodness, I can't believe how I'm riffing on this. So smoke the main product in your smoker and smoke the tomatoes. Slices of tomatoes or whole tomatoes, and then you can just lay them on top or puree them and make a smoked tomato sauce. Insane. No? Then you could top it with, oh, I don't know, smoked mozzarella cheese. And you might think that you were eating this around a campfire in the Italian countryside. Say what? What is that? Yeah, that's Parm number 9. Boom, I did it. I told you I would. I did. It is one dish that everybody knows, a dish that can be either simple or complicated, but it can become a new dish just by changing the method. Okay, so now it's your turn. It's time for you. Okay, I've never had that happen before, but my computer crashed in the middle of it. So hopefully I'm back on. If I'm back on, that was very strange. My computer totally crashed and I saw myself frozen. Has not happened in years. Okay, so what I was saying was, after I proved the 9 Parmesans, now it's your turn to think about your favorite dishes. What if you cooked the exact same ingredients, but changed the method from, say, roasting to grilling? What if you changed it from a dry saute to a moist poach? So instead of those quick meals, perhaps a combination cooking method like braising for something a little slower, right? If you want to increase the variety in your cooking, increase the variety of your cooking. All right, let's see how many different methods we can identify in the fantastic meals being posted inside our Carefree Cooks community this week. Barbara, first of all, Barbara watched my beef stroganoff video and she used a braising method for her beef and sour cream noodle dish. Could she have stewed it or sauteed it instead? Yeah, sure, why not? Laura used a bunch of different methods for her pork tenderloin with wild rice and mixed vegetables, roasted pork, simmered rice, steamed veggies, right? What if she turned it all around? What if she steamed the pork and roasted the veggies? How might this dish be different? Dawn is next. Dawn followed my chicken cordon bleu video and made her sauce from scratch for the very first time. Nicely done, Dawn. I like it. How might Dawn do this differently? Maybe she would use the 3-part breading procedure I talked about and roast it before topping it with cheese and sauce. Neither is right or wrong. They're just different. Maureen spent some time this weekend by adding variety to her future meals by making some dark roux and blonde roux for the sauces that she's gonna make in the future. We don't know what they are right now, but she's ready. She's ready to thicken up any pan sauce that she can dream up. And Janice learned something really important about cooking methods this week, because everything she says used to stick to her pans, her stainless steel pan, especially the French toast that she's trying to make. So this French toast, she says, was the best ever. Why? Because she had more patience. She waited for the caramelization of the bread before trying to flip it. What this means is she focused on the method, which always gives us better results. And it's the basic mantra of cooking, of carefree cooking. It's not what you cook, it's how you cook it. And that means method always comes before ingredient and definitely replaces recipes. Methods replace recipes. All right, let's get back to the what am I for today. What do we got here? This, and that. It's pesto. Pesto is an emulsified sauce. And in this illustration here, we've got some basil leaves, we've got some pine nuts, and olive oil. not the cartoon character. No. Actual oil made from olives. And here's a shocker for you. You need an emulsifying, you need a liaison. It's the pine nuts that have the emulsifying properties in it. Not many people would know that. An egg yolk is not going to taste good in your pesto. And emulsification, when you get into this with sauces, it is so much fun. It's the ability to mix two unmixable items. And I mean, it's so cool. You feel so powerful. But that's another topic for another day. So let me ask you, do you know someone that would benefit from the idea that they really have 9 meals when they think they're cooking just one? Well, please like, love, and share this video with them so people can become truly free in their cooking as well. And speaking of variety, if you want to go even deeper into this topic, we're going to continue the conversation in my latest free online class. Get 5 times more variety and 5 times more flavor with just one powerful pro kitchen practice. Let me give you a hint. I'll give you a hint about this. If you can make 9 meals out of one by changing the method, what if you could also make a variety of sauces? I don't know, let's just say 5. Let's pick the number 5. If you can make 5 basic sauces and 9 different methods, then 5 times 9 is 45. Now your one meal has become 45 different meals. It's life-changing once you know the concepts. So go to webcookingclasses.com/5 times to pick a class time that's right for you. And when you're done with that class, you're going to be able to explode the variety of your cooking from now on. So until we meet again next Tuesday at noon Eastern, I want you to scrutinize the method that you're using to cook dinner. And I want you to imagine how you'd keep the ingredients, but change that method to create something new. This is Chef Todd Moore, until next Tuesday, reminding you that there's always a method to the wide variety of your future cooking success. Bye-bye, everyone.